Masechta Sanhedrin, the Aflamet Tes Amud Aleph, the third line from the top. Amalei Kefer Yamshim Gamil. So the Gemara tells us more exchanges between the Kefrim and the Talmid Chacham. Amalei Kefer Ram Gamil. There was a Kefer that said to Ram Gamil, a heretic, Elekechem Ganavu. Your God is a Ganav. The Chsiva Hayapal Hashem Elekim Tadema Ala Adam Ayishan. It says in the Pasuk, Hashem made Adam fall asleep in a deep sleep, and he slept, and the Eibishter took one of his sides and made a woman. He made Chava. So the daughter of the Kefer said, Shafkidan Madran Alei, leave him alone, for I'm going to answer him. Bring, she said to her father, give me a policeman or a judge who could take Nekama, who could take revenge for me. Amalei, what do you need it for? So listen, Bo Aleinu Alayla. She answered, because Ganavim came upon us at night, and not only they took away a silver pitcher and they left a golden pitcher in its place. So he said to his daughter, Halavai, this Ganav should come every day, then leave us gold pitchers instead of silver ones, and take away the silver ones. She responded, so was it not beneficial for Adam Rishon that they took one side, and the Naslay from that side, the Shivcha of Shamshei, and he was given a maid to be able to serve him instead? He said to her like this, why did they do it in a hiding way? By taking it while Adam was sleeping, Hashem acted as a Ganef, in a way of a Ganef. He should have done it openly. So she said back to him, bring me a raw meat. Isolate. They brought her the raw meat. She put it under the coals, on the grate. I picked and then she took out the meat, the meat that was raw originally, and put it into the coals. And she said, eat from this. I'm a little easily. He said to her, listen, it's disgusting to me, because he already saw the raw meat when it was in a not a comfortable state, an unappetizing way. So she said the same thing as with Adam Rishon, that if it would have been taken from him openly, then she would have been repulsive or disgusting to him. Another story. The Kefer said to Ram Gamil, I know exactly what the Eibishter is doing and where he's sitting. Ram Gamil moaned and sighed. My high. What is this sighing? What is this moaning? This the Kefer is. Ram Gamil said to him, I have one son that's in the cities by the sea, and I have a longing or yearning for him. I want you to show him to me. The Kefer said, do I know where he is? So Gamil said, that which is on earth you don't know. That which is in the Shemaim you do know. Another story. The Kefer said to Gamil, it's written, Hashem counts the number of the stars. Yes, the Kefer is, what's the Chiddush? I'm able to count the Kechavim. Gamil brought some like pear-shaped, it's called quinces. And he put them in a sieve, and he was spinning it around. He told him count it. Stop, make it stand still so I can count it. The heavens are also spinning around. So if you can, how then could you claim to be able to count the stars? Others say this is what Ram Gamil said to the Kefer. The Kefer said to Ram Gamil, the stars are counted before me. I know how many stars there are. Ram Gamil said to him, oh really? So you don't even see all the stars, and you know already how many there are. So tell me how many molars and how many teeth you have on your mouth. He had to put his hand in his mouth, and then he counted it. Gamil said to him, hey, What you have in your mouth, you don't know until you put your hand in it. What's in the heaven, you know, without counting it. And then there are many stars of which are not even visible. So how do you expect to know the number? Another story. The one who created the mountains did not create the wind, because the Lashenis for the Harim is different than the Lashenis for Ruach, for the wind. It says the Eibishter formed or fashioned the mountains, and the Creator created the wind, the Beirei. So by Harim it says Yotze, and by Ruach it says Beirei. So it's two separate creations, two separate creators. Elamiyata Gabiodam Nechsif, Svegimada, Sam Gamil Istim, the Kaifa, it says the Pasik by Yivra that the Eibishter created man, and then it says Vayitza, it says he fashioned him. So too, you're going to claim the one who created this limb did not create the other limb. If you're going to say the Lashenis mean it's a separate creators, so in one body, you're going to say one limb was created by one and the other by another. It is a tefchal tefach by the head of a man, is a tefchal tefach. And he has two holes, the ear and the eyes, in that small area. And you're going to say the one created this, didn't create that. Well, look in the head, in this small area, it says, it says, he who implants the ear, does he not hear? So there it says, Anaitei. And then it says, Im Yoitze Ayin Alo Yabit, that's by the ear. And by the Ayin it says, Yoitze, he who fashions the eyes, does he not see? So according to this, the eyes was created by one, the ears created by another. How could it be? Amalei, the Kef says, it's created by two different creators. Amalei, Gabriel said to him, and at the time of a person's death, all the creators are going to agree that he should die. How many people die? Sometimes it's impossible by each one that they all agree that he should die. So it doesn't make sense. There was a certain Mechashev sorcerer that said to Hameimah, I know through Kishuv or through sorcery, that your upper half of the body belongs to Hormiz. That's the name of the Satan or the demon. And the lower half belongs to Hashem, Ahumis, Amaleim Cain. Really? So Amema said to him, if so, how does the Eibishter Ahumis allow Hurmis, which is the top of the body, to allow the waste to go through the bottom of the body, which is Hashem, to pass the dirty water through his territory? Everything a person puts in his mouth, it comes out from the bottom, so it has to go through the bottom part. So how can you say that Mipagalila the Humes and the bottom belongs to Hashem? Hashem would not allow him to go through that part of the body. Okay, so this Caesar said to Rav Tanchum, come, let us all become one nation. He said, so why, first of all, what's the Mayachap? He says, let's all become one nation, because we'll all have to, it says that we'll all be called upon the name of Hashem, and we're all going to all serve him at the end anyway. So since everybody's anyway going to have to serve Hashem, let us start doing it now. Let us all be one now. He says, he says, however, we are circumcised, and and we cannot become like you. You therefore circumcise yourselves, and then you can become like us, and then we'll be one. He said, well, but you embarrass the king. So whoever answers strongly and the king has no answer, he embarrassed the king, he has to be thrown into a pen with the wild chayas. So when they threw Rav Tanchum, Rav Tanchum into the pen of the wild chayas, and the beast didn't need him. So this Saduki said, this that the wild beasts didn't eat him is because they weren't hungry. So they said, oh, really? Okay, so they threw the tzedeki in, and the beast ate him, and the wild beast ate him. Another story. A Kaifa said to Ram Gamliel, you say that wherever there's 10 people, the Shechina rats. So come Shechina, you know how many groups of 10 people you can have? So there are many Shechinas. Karyo Shamoye. Ram Gamliel called his Shamish, Mechabe Ba'Pascha. And he hit him on the neck. Amalei. Ram Gamliel said to him, to the Shamish, Amay al Shimsha, why did you allow the light the light of the sun go into the Kaifa's house? Amalei. So the Kaifa said to him, Shimsha Kuli Alma Naicha. The sun shines on the entire world. How can one prevent the light from coming into my house? Answered, if the sun is only one of the thousands upon thousands of myriads of servants of Hashem, the Kamikoch Berichu, that serve before Hashem, I'm sorry, that serve before Hashem. So Naicha Lekum Alma, and it shines. This one servant of myriads of servants that serve before Hashem shines in the entire world. The Shekhinah of Hashem for sure is able to rest in many places at once. This Kaifa said to Abba, your God is a jokester. First he tells Yecheskel's lying on your left side. Then he told him your money. Then he tells him rather lie on your right side. He's making a joke out of him. Tell me the Amalek. Before Rabbi answered, a certain Talmud came in and asked the Kasha, my time the Shmita say. What is the reason of Shmita? Meaning every 7th year, the fields have to be without work. Rabbi said, now I'll answer both questions. The Shabbat Tavaya, that will be fitting as an answer to both of the questions. Hashem said to the Yidden, plant your crop for 6 years and rest on the 7th. So that the people know that the land belongs to me. And that's okay. Okay. But the Yidden didn't do so. They didn't observe the Shmita year, Lechet and V'golo. Instead, they sinned, and therefore they were exiled. Now, the way of the world is when a country rebels against the king. Flesh and blood. If the king is cruel, he kills them all. If he's merciful, he only kills half. But if he's with Rachman, with a merciful one, so then he's with mercy. He only inflicts the greatest of them and lets everyone live. Likewise, Neibishter, who was a Rachamim, so therefore, instead of killing all the Jews for being over on Shemitah, he only he was Metzayeh Cheskel, in order to wash away the sins of the Yidden. This mean is Hapikadia said to Abavo, your God is a Kain. For it says that David said by the Mishkan, everybody should bring me a separation of their parts for the Mishkan. But he interpreted Truma as taking a part for the Kohen. But if so, when he buried Moshe, when David buried Moshe, how did this Gamil is asking if he's a Kohen. I'm sorry, the Apikayas was asking him if David is a Kohen, so how, and if David buried Moshe, how did he pure himself afterwards? If you can say it was with water, it's written, Hashem measured the waters of the world with just his fist. So there's no one in the world that could really, the Eibishter could be Tevel himself. Amalei Benura Tavel. Abavo said, no, he's going to be Tevel himself in fire. Well, it's written that the Eibishter will come in fire. Misalga. Tvilos Menorah. So the Kaifa is, but is it possible that fire should be effective for Tvila? Amalei Adarab, Ika Tvilos Menorah. Abavo said, on the contrary, the Ika form of Tvila is in fire. Like it says that anything that cannot go through fire should go through the water. Really, that's referring to Kalim. I've always just sarcastically answering the questions, because really Hashem is not a Kohen. It's this whole raya that he brought as a Kohen is bogus. And that's why he answered even from the pasuk of Kalim, where there it says that if you can't put it through fire, you put it through water. There's a certain Kaifa Seter of Avina. It says, who is like your people, Bnei Yisrael, one nation in the land. So the pasuk implies that Bnei Yisrael is unique. What is the uniqueness? You too, meaning Yidden, are lumped together with the Goyim. It says, all the nations, including the Yidden, are like nothing before Hashem. Rabbi Avina answered, from your own Navi Bilam Arasha, who is not Jewish, has testified that we are not included with the other Goyim. The Sefer, it's written in the Pasuk, it says, and amongst the nations, the Bnei Yisrael are not included. As stated from two psukim, Ksiv Tev Hashem Lakel. It's written, Hashem is good to all. Ksiv Tev Hashem Lakova. But in another passage it says Hashem is good to those who wait for Him, meaning only the tzaddikim. Mashal Adam Sheyesh Leipad is there's a mashal for a person who has an orchard. Kishu Mashke Mashke Skule. When he waters the orchard, he waters the good and bad together. But when he hoes and digs, he only does the best of them. Al says by the people. When it comes to filling the entire world with his brachas, the good and bad people benefit. But when he requires individual attention and rewarding people, then the Eibishter works with those tzaddikim to give them what they deserve. Therefore, everyone, it says, the Mishnah says that the Mishnah says when it comes to killing, you have to testify against the Rishayim, even though it's a big achrayas, because the Eibishter wants that. It says, and it says that the Eibishter is rejoiced. It says, and the joy's proclamation spread throughout the camp when Achbud died, showing that the simcha had been foretold, like the Gemara says. It says, Amar Ravacha bar Chanina b'Avaid Reshoyim Erina. Ravacha bar Chanina said, and when the Reshoyim pass away, there is simcha. B'Avaid Achav ben Amri Rina, meaning when the wicked Achav ben Amri would die, there would be Rina, joy. Does the Eibishter rejoice by the downfall of Rishayim? It says, and they go out before the army, and they say, give thanks to Hashem, for His kindness is forever. It should say also Kitay. Why doesn't it say the words Kitay? Because the Eibishter doesn't rejoice when the then the downfall of the Rishayim. What is this that it says in the Pasuk like and one Malach did not go near the other all night. So there, the simple meaning of the Pasuk is that the Jews encamped at the Yam Suf, and the Mitzrayim were running after them and prevent them from approaching them. So Rabbi Yedison, that's what it means, that they didn't come, that the Mitzrayim didn't come close I'm sorry, here it's referring not to Malachim, but it's referring to the Mitzrayim didn't come close to the Yidden by Yamsuf. At that time, the Malachim wanted to sing in the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. My handiwork, meaning even though it's the shame, but it's his handiwork. And you want to sing praise for me. This proves that the Eibishter doesn't rejoice in the downfall of the Rishaim. So why does the pasuk then say, and when the wicked die, there is joy? The Eibishter himself doesn't rejoice, but he causes other people to rejoice. They can ameraya. The pasuk says he will cause others to rejoice. But it doesn't say he rejoices. Shema Mina is a raya that David doesn't rejoice, but he causes others. And they washed hazaines. So what is hazaines? Achav's death served to clarify two nevias. Achas shel Michal, Achas shel Eliyahu. One of Michal and one of Eliyahu. B'Michal ksiv. In the Nevi'is of Michal it says, if you return in peace from the war, then Hashem didn't speak to me. Eliyahu ksiv, meaning for sure he's going to die. And he did. Eliyahu ksiv, by Eliyahu it says in the pasuk, as dam navis, in the place where the dogs licked the blood of navis who you took away the filth from, the dogs will lick your blood. Rava says it's actual prostitutes. Achov ish mitzunaya. Achov was a cold person. He didn't want to have tashmish. Izabel made him 2 pictures of prostitutes in his chariots. So that should so he should see the picture of his chamim and become aroused, and then he would live with her. And a person shot the arrow with his bow, and he struck Melech Achov, even though he didn't know it was Melech Achov. He was in disguise. Nobody knew exactly who he was, but he happened to hit him. Abelazar says, it means, in his innocence, without realizing, he was aiming at Achov, who was the Melech Yisrael. Rabba says, to fulfill the 2 nevuos, Achas shel Michayav, Achas shel Eliyahu. That's what it means. The Zionist to fulfill the 2 nevias. Simen Krav Zach Be'edaim. So he says these are simanim for the next piece of the Gemara. Zach Gemara Ksiva Hika Achav El Avadia Ashel Abayis. Achav called Avadia, who was over the whole household. It says Avadia Have Yare as Hashem Me'id. It says Avadia feared Hashem a lot. My Kamakrav. What does it mean? That why does the pasuk even say about Avadia in connection with Achav that he feared Hashem? Achav said to Avadia, the pasuk you find by Yaakov says it says I have learned through Kishuv that Hashem has blessed me only because of you by Yaakov. And it says by Yosef Ksiv, by Yosef it also says to love. That was Yaakov by loving. By Yosef Ksiv by Potiphar. It says by Yivarach Hashem es beis hamitzvah b'gval Yosef. That Hashem blessed Potiphar's household because of Yosef. But nevertheless, the household of this man has not, meaning Achav, his house was not blessed. Maybe you're not a God-fearing Jew. A heavenly voice came out and said by Avadia, that Avadia feared Hashem exceedingly. But the house of Achav is not fit for blessing because his descendants, the Eibishter probably saw that his descendants are also wicked. They were there. The other ones' descendants, will have good descendants. However, here by Yaakov, no descendants, and no good descendants will come out of him. It says the praise stated by Avadia is greater than what it says by Avram. By Avram, like Sibnei, it doesn't say the word by Avadia. Sibnei, by Avadia, it says Me'ed. He feared Hashem exceedingly. Rabbi Yitzchak, Why did Avadia merit Nevius? It says Avadia was a geir, and it says only the descendants of Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov have the power of Nevuah, as the Yomar, and for the Yomar, because he hid 100 Nevi'im in a cave. How? As Nevi Hashem. When Izebel, the wife of Achav, was decimating or killing all the Nevi'im, Avadia took up 100 Nevi'im, and he hid them in 2 caves, 50 Nevi'im in each cave. Why did he choose 50 men in each cave? He learned out from Yaakov. For Yaakov says, if Esau comes to one camp and he kills them or tries to fight, then the remaining shall survive. Similarly, Avadia hid the Nevi'im in 2 caves, just in case Izebel discovered one of them, the others will remain alive. Rabbi Avo says the reason why he didn't have more than 50 in the cave, because logically, logistically, it didn't have enough for more than 50. The pasuk says the vision of Avadia, the Nevis of Avadia, Hashem spoke about Edom. Why did Hashem choose Avadia to say Nevis about Edom? Let Avadia, who lived amongst Achav and Izebel, the two Rishayim, and didn't learn from their evil ways. And say Nevuah about the downfall of Esau, meaning Edom, the wicked one, Shadav ben Shnei Tzadikim, who lived between Yitzchak and Rivka, and didn't learn from their righteous ways. So it was appropriate for Avadia to say, for Avadia to say the Nevi'is of the downfall of Esau's descendants, meaning the Edom. Ephraim Mishka, the student of Rabbi Meir, said the name of Rabbi Meir, Avadia Ger Adem. Avadia was a ger from Edom, and therefore he said the nevuah about Edom. This is the example that they say from the very forest itself, from the wood of the forest itself, comes the handle of the axe that will destroy it. Meaning that he came from them, from the same forest, and he is the one that prophesies about the destruction. So the Torah says, and David HaMelech killed Moav. He measured them with a robe, making them lie down, and only 2 of them were left over. He wanted to take Nekama from them because he asked them to protect his family, and the king agreed, but then he murdered the entire family except for one brother. So David took revenge, and he only spared 2 people. This is what people are saying. From the very forest itself comes the handle of the axe that will destroy it. He explained, when he came from that side, he said, the thigh rots from in its midst, meaning he is from inside them. Meaning that the thickest part of the thigh begins to rot first. Just like the meat is the cause of its own rotting, so were the descendants of these nations the cause of the eventual downfall. Okay, so the Torah writes that that Meicha, the king of Moav, in order to win the war, he wanted to act like Avraham Avinu. He took his first son, who was supposed to take over his melucha, and he offered him as a burnt offering on the wall. Rav Shmuel Chadam l'Shem Shemaim. It's machlekes between Rav and Shmuel. One said he did it l'Shem Shemaim for the sake of Hashem. Chadam l'Shem Avodah Zarah. One says he did it for Avodah Zarah. Bishlam l'mandam l'Shem Shemaim. It's understood. One who says he did it l'Shem Shemaim. Hainu l'chsiva. He katzav gadol al Yisrael. That is why the Torah writes that there was a big mageva against the Yidden. That is, Hashem became angry on the Yidden when he again when he compared it to Meicha's Maisim, which was much better because the Yidden at that time were sinning against Hashem. But according to the man that says he didn't do it l'shem Hashem, only l'shem avodah zarah. Why was there a mageva against the Yidden? Why would Hashem become angry on the Jewish people because of because the Melech Moav sin? And you want to have Yeshua ben Levi, that the Yeshua ben Levi, the Yeshua ben Levi Rami, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi asked a contradiction. Ksiv, it says, it says, and like the laws of the nation that surround you, you didn't do. And then another pasuk says, another pasuk says, like the laws of the nations, you did do. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi answers the contradiction. You didn't do like the best of the goyim, like we find by Eglon, that when Eglon, who's the king of Moav, when Ehud came to say, I have a message from, he was coming to kill him, and he says, and how did he trick him? He says, I have a message from Hashem. And immediately Eglon got up out of respect of Hashem. So even though Ehud killed him, but we see that Eglon showed respect. That's the good ones. We don't learn from the good ones. We only do like the worst of them. Meaning like Meicha did, who sacrificed his son to avodah zarah. So that's why Hashem became angry on the Yidden when Meicha sacrificed his son, because so a reminder of Hashem that the Yidden are only following the bad behavior of the game, not the good behavior. And that's why Hashem got angry and made him a gefa. In the pasuk it says, they, the people of the Bnei Yisrael, departed from him, and they returned to the land. Amar Rab Chanina bar Papa. Rab Chanina bar Papa said, at that time, the Rishayim of the Yidden descended to the lowest possible level. And Hashem was gezer that they should endure suffering. This was a result of, because they went even on a lower level. Avishag, who we learned in the Gemara before, she was the girl that warmed David HaMelech and wanted to marry David HaMelech, but David HaMelech refused to marry her. So it says that she was very beautiful. Amar Rab Chanina bar Papa said, she still didn't reach the beauty of Sarah. For it stated to Sarah that she was beautiful until very much, but not in the category of me'oid, meaning very beautiful. We shall return to you, Pedek Echad Dinim Amanis.